Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to Jurassic June, and we're finally playing our first Jurassic Park game. Now first, I want to mention that this music playing right now, the Jurassic Park theme of course, is a cover by Thomas Oliver, and I will put that in the description, a link to it, when I finish up the description after the stream, if you want to listen to it in whole. It's a very nice cover. And now we're going to experience something that is pretty much the opposite of that calm, serene version of the Jurassic Park theme. Because, oh my god, if you have not seen this game before, well, strap in. This is Jurassic Park for the well, this is the SEGA arcade game Jurassic Park from 1994, which is the sequel to Jurassic Park, and I want to get that out of the way now before I start because this game has no breaks. It is the closest thing to a roller coaster ride a shooter has ever been. Let's see, make sure that the game is visible. It's not, of course. Why would it be? It was visible when I tested it. I love streaming. Like it just never ever works. Like I tested this ahead of time, making sure that everything was visible as it should be, and it was. Everything was working perfectly. And now it's not. Give me 1 sec. I will see what's going on. Still not showing up. This is odd. Just once. It would be nice if a game could just work. You know, I'm gonna try cutting away and then switching back. No. The thing is, like, I can use the window capture, I suppose, but the window capture has really bad frame rate troubles. I guess we're using the window capture. Hopefully it won't be too bad. The thing about window capture in OBS is that it doesn't support the same frame rate as the regular game capture does, but hopefully that will be fine. And I reset it here because I want to show the full intro, even though the intro unfortunately doesn't have any audio, which is a shame, but oh well. Here we go. I'm gonna get my mouse out of the way. A few months later, that's to say after Jurassic Park, we return to the island. Again. Jurassic Park. So it says 93 there at the bottom, and the actual JP, Jurassic Park Universal, details here says 92, but the game didn't actually come out until 94. It was kind of delayed until it actually hit arcades. Alright, that's enough of that. Gonna put in a bunch of credits. I had actually set it to not take coins, but that doesn't always work on every game. So here's what's gonna be fun this time. I'm playing 2 players. So this is not a light gun shooter, it's a joystick shooter. So I'm controlling player 2, blue, player 1, red, with the 2 twin sticks on my DualShock, and this could be a terrible idea. Oh, T-Rex. So, here's good old Rexy. Oh, this is already really confusing because you're controlling 2 crosshairs is pretty difficult with separate sticks. It's much easier with like light gun controls. But since this game isn't light gun, this is the best we can do. Oh my god. Oh, we actually somehow got through that part. I'm just going to hold down the shoot buttons because it's not, there's no like reloading in this game. In that regard, it is fairly kind. So these are, I believe these are compsognathus, or compies, which is kind of funny because like they weren't in the first Jurassic Park film. They were in the first Jurassic Park novel, but not the film. They were in The Lost World, of course. Oh shit! So, since the intro says that that we returned to the island again, that implies that characters from the first film are the ones in this jeep just shooting dinosaurs. Now I'm not sure who that would be, because how do I? Because I don't really see Dr. Grant or Malcolm as being okay with shooting animals. They are pretty opposed to that stuff. I also don't see them coming back, although Alan Grant coming back to the island is a thing in several Jurassic Park game sequels, so who knows. Dilophosaurus, who, as I mentioned before, is always put in games to annoy you with ranged attacks. Although I guess I never really mentioned this in a stream before, but in the real world, or in history rather, Dilophosaurus did not spit venom. That is invented by Jurassic Park. And yeah, that's just not true. But here we have pterodons. Probably pterodactyls. I would say, yeah, it looks like they're all pterodactyls. It wouldn't appear until Jurassic Park 3, of course. Or the ending of The Lost World, if you will. Oh wow. See, this game is really difficult. Like, it is very much the kind of game that's designed to just eat quarters, as I'm sure you can tell. I think this is a graphical glitch. See, the thing is, this game doesn't work perfectly on MAME. It mostly works on MAME. But I don't think it's supposed to look exactly like this. I think we're supposed to have like tree trunks or something here that aren't rendering properly. Oh yeah, so Dilophosaurus did not spit venom in history. Like, that is something Jurassic Park invented, and I believe it was actually in the novel too. I seem to recall it being in the novel, though I haven't read the novel since I was a child, so I could be wrong. Michael Crichton took a lot of creative liberties with the dinosaurs. Like, knowingly so, even. Like, it wasn't just, like, old science and stuff like that, like, incomplete data. Like, no, he did a lot of changes just to make the dinosaurs more scary. And that is also true in The Lost World. I seem to remember and I could be wrong, but I think in the novels the Compsognathus are like also venomous. But I could be wrong. I'm not thinking of another dinosaur. Oh dear. Oh, need to put in coins. But you can see how, like, incredibly just unforgiving this game is. It is just designed to eat your quarters. Now, it is a little bit easier with a proper joystick and 2 players, of course. But like, but even on an actual arcade, and I have played this on an actual arcade, you don't have that great control of the cursor, because it's a joystick shooter, it's not a light gun shooter. If it was a light gun shooter, it would be a very different story. I have also played, hello Luis, I have also played The Lost World SEGA arcade game, which is a light gun shooter. It is, in my opinion, one of the best light gun shooters ever made. Unfortunately, it seems it doesn't work on MAME. Or at least I get a warning message telling me that it's not gonna work. But I haven't actually tried it, so it's possible that that the warning is just out of date. Yeah, and apparently, this is something I didn't know, by the way, about Dilophosaurus, because I knew they didn't spit venom, and that was something that Jurassic Park made up. And that was, you know, everyone used copies from Jurassic Park, because Jurassic Park is the most popular dinosaur media ever made. I really should have mapped a start button to the controller, because I have to switch to the keyboard every time. Although that's kind of realistic, because obviously if you put in quarters, you have to actually put your hand off the joystick. Well, I guess you don't have to, but if you're playing with both joysticks like I am, then you have to. But yeah, I didn't know this. Dilophosaurus also didn't have frills. Now I'm guessing that is actually just like something that we have, that we initially thought it had, and then we learned differently, rather than something Jurassic Park made up, but I could be wrong. You might remember that I talked about when I played that awful Ubisoft fighting game, Combat of Giants Dinosaur Strike. I fought a Dilophosaurus and I complained that it didn't have frills. Well, that was foolish of me, because it turns out that it actually... oh yeah, I'm gonna finish my thought first. It turns out that it didn't have frills at all. So, yeah, I was wrong about that. I've been watching a lot of Your Dinosaurs Are Wrong, which is a great YouTube series. I highly recommend it. It's been going on for 7 years, and it's just wonderful. And they mentioned that it didn't have frills. Most of the stuff they mentioned on Your Dinosaurs Are Wrong is stuff I already know, because I like reading about dinosaurs, but there's been some stuff like that I didn't know, like the frill thing. And yeah, about the seat vibrating. So if you haven't seen the actual arcade machine for this, it is essentially made like a car, so that you're actually sitting in the Jeep. And yeah, it vibrates like a lot of Sega arcade games did. Like Outrun also vibrates. Outrun has a great feeling, and I believe this is by the same team as Outrun. Oh wait, was Outrun AM2 or AM3? Because this is AM3, and it's possible Outrun was AM2 and not AM3. I might be wrong. Also, volcano and lava. Like technically, this matches up with the new canon established in 2018 with the Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom. Turns out there is actually like a volcano on Isla Nublar, and it is active. Does that mean this game is a canonical sequel? I don't know. Maybe? I mean, I guess not, because this is months later and not, 20 years later, and clearly the volcano is erupting. We had one arcade in my hometown when I was a kid, but like it was like for some reason, it was like an 18+ lounge, unless you had a parent with you, even though it was in like a candy store. So like, you know, kids would love to go there and play arcades, but I guess maybe parents complained about kids' money being taken or something. But anyways, I didn't get to play a lot of stuff there unless I had my parents with me. But I also had an arcade at my local cinema, including a lot of light gun games. But that was not where I played the Jurassic Park ones. Those I played, let's see, at some theme park. It might have been Disneyland Paris, but I'm not sure which theme park it actually was that I played The Lost World at. Because it's been way too long now. But yeah, arcades are basically a dead thing these days, at least in Europe. I don't know how it is in other parts of the world. I mean, I know it's popular in Japan, but even there it's gone down. Sega actually sold off all of their arcades last year. And it wasn't just because of the pandemic, although that did, you know, certainly contribute some of it. But like, Sega, you know, the kings of arcade, like, going, yeah, no, we probably can't do arcades anymore. It's just not worth it. In Japan, it's a pretty dire, like, that's dire news for the arcade scene, you know? And they sure had a lot of Velociraptors on Isla Nublar. Only I've had one T-Rex on Isla Nublar, but they had like 100 raptors apparently. And they were in cages months after Jurassic Park and are still alive somehow. So what my strat right now is literally just flicking the joysticks left and right and trying to like catch as much as I can with it. I actually had to like change my settings on the DualShock, so it's at a 50% sensitivity, because otherwise the joysticks would just flick all over the screen. Because they're like super sensitive and actually tailored to like a specific joystick that would be made only for this game, you know? So like its dead zones and stuff like that were also made to match the game. 2 T-Rexes! Never mind! They have 2 T-Rexes now. I guess we somehow landed on Isla Sorna. Maybe Rexy cloned herself. God, this is really hard when they're on 2 different sides. So the reason I picked this game was partially because I love this game. It's just really fun. It is one of the most fun like rail shooters out there because it's just so fucking ridiculous. It is just a big roller coaster. But also, I actually have like a medical appointment tomorrow, so I didn't want to end up with a game that will take 3 hours again. Oh shit. Oh wow. Yeah, turns out we were actually Alan Grant and oh shit, what's her name? I'm kind of embarrassed now. I can't remember her name. Dr. Sattler. Dr. Sattler. What's her first name? Emily? Is it Emily Sattler? But yeah, this game is amazing. Like... It is, one of many Japanese-developed Jurassic Park games, actually. And... I mean, it's just a delight. It is so just... It's so fast-paced, you know? Like the moment you start playing it, it just... Like, it starts at 11 and then goes upwards. Like, the first thing you do is get chased by Rexy, which is like... okay. That's the starting point. I think my favorite part is when you're riding on, like, the back of the Brontosauruses, or the Brachiosauruses. Yeah. That's the game. It is very short. It's an arcade game, you know? Rail shooters didn't really get longer than this until, I guess I can show the, like, what the game over looks like while I'm at it. But, like, rail shooters didn't really get longer than this until, like, the home console versions of arcade. So in House of the Dead is, like, also like, just, like, 30 minutes long. Because, you know, can't stand in the arcade all the time, and you want to make sure that if a good player is at the arcade unit, they will leave, so other ones will go there and actually take, alright. I will die faster if I put in the credits for both players. But I want to make sure that, you know, you actually have to leave the arcade so that someone else gets there and pays coins. So, I think 30 minutes is pretty, like, average for an arcade game. Like, beat-em-ups and shooters are often around that length. Some beat-em-ups are longer, but then they also tend to be, like, ones that have, like, 4 players and stuff like that. I love these Velociraptors, by the way. They have such goofy expressions. I put them in the thumbnail for the game, for the stream, because they're hilarious. Alright, I don't have to actually put in the credits. I can just wait here on the screen, I guess. Oh wait, no, because then it might tell me that I can play again. So let me actually put in the last credit. I think this is, like, also one of the goofiest parts. Like, oh no, we accidentally hit a Triceratops. We better shoot the entire herd. SEGA, like, made the best light gun games, rail shooter games. I mean, because they made this, you know, of course. They made House of the Dead, which is wonderful. They had some good Aliens ones and Terminator ones. Virtua Cop, honestly, is pretty fun too. Getting all the use out of that Jurassic Park font. So that's yeah, that's Jurassic Park, the arcade game. Yeah, it's short. It's 20 minutes long, but it's delightful. Hello, Lieutenant Pinball. It's just at such a consistently ridiculous extreme game. They're so proud of this DNA string animation. Like, they're so proud of this, making full use of their like high tech sprite scaling, which Sega were very proud of and made very good use of. So because this is a pretty short game, I think what we will do to make this stream a little more fun is we will look at a few more arcade games that unfortunately aren't playable, but we can still look at them, get an idea of what they were like. So we'll start, of course, with The Lost World. So let me just... I wonder actually if we can get it started, because it says graphics okay, but sound unimplemented. Alright, yes, I don't even have the right files for it. I will keep looking into getting The Lost World running, but I'm not gonna promise anything. It would be great if we can get it running though, because it is a fantastic game. But I am just going to quickly open up a private window on Firefox. And how do I hide? There we go. I'm just trying to adapt a web browser best for showing on stream. If you were wondering what I'm doing. There we go. Okay. Gonna make it a little bit wider before I resize it. A little bit wider. There we go. That's pretty good size. Okay, so first we're gonna have a look at first we're gonna have a look at Jurassic Park, the Lost World, Jurassic Park, the arcade game. And we're not gonna look at the full game because I'm not about to do like voiceover for someone else's gameplay. Oh god, an anti-drug opening. Reminds me of like there used to be like these messages at the start of arcade games a lot. Like a lot of compiles games in the 90s had like an AIDS awareness thing at the start, for example. So this right here is just, this is one of the best arcade games like ever. Oh yeah, it's tranquilizer guns, of course. This looks like it's being played on an emulator though. I should look into that, see if it's possible to play it.
They wiped us out. We've got to save Ian and Sarah.
Yeah, so you're somehow on Isla Sorna trying to save Ian Malcolm and Sarah. But I guess not Ian Malcolm's daughter, which just doesn't even go mention. Kelly is her name, if you don't remember. Much like the Jurassic Park Sega arcade game, it is like just straight into extreme ridiculous action, but this has the like added bonus of having a House of the Dead style dialogue.
To the laboratory. You can find them with this detector. Look out!
It's a pretty good looking game, huh? The graphics are really nice. Like, this is 97. Like, the Dreamcast wasn't even out yet. It's actually gonna jump ahead a bit because I want to show off T-Rex. There we go. So much like in Jurassic Park, you're in a car. So T-Rex female, it says up there, because of course in The Lost World there's actually one male and one female T-Rex. And yeah, the second player can just straight up be picked up by the T-Rex like that and somehow survive. Like, it is genuinely just like a sequel to the '94 Jurassic Park arcade game, and in the best way. It is just as ridiculous. Let's see if we can find T-Rex male. Oh, I think it's here? No, that's Carnotaurus. Which is, you know, Carnotaurus wouldn't really become a popular Jurassic Park dinosaur until last year. Because Carnotaurus is actually one of the main dinosaurs in Camp Cretaceous, the cartoon. Although it can't go invisible in the cartoon, like it can here for some reason. I guess that makes it the prototype version of the Indominus Rex. Here's the T-Rex male. Oh, sorry, that's the female again. Because you fight both of them, much like in Jurassic Park, the arcade game. So I think they're gonna like swoop around and change to the other T-Rex at any moment now. They even have the same rule of aim at the head. Which I guess is just regular shooter logic, honestly, but you know, still. Like, this game is gorgeous.
Oh dear. She's called her mate.
Oh, it made it sound like she used a cell phone or something.
He's coming close to us.
And here's the male T-Rex, which of course is... what color? Green! It's never confirmed, but the fact that the male T-Rex is green in The Lost World, and the T-Rex that is killed in Jurassic Park 3 is also green, has led to speculation that it's the same T-Rex. But since there are multiple T-Rexes, and even a baby T-Rex in The Lost World on Isla Sorna, we can't say for sure, because there's just a lot of T-Rexes there. But yeah, this game is really cool. Definitely hope if we can get it working, I would be delighted. Let's see. No, green mean he's not mean. So Jurassic Park 3's arcade game actually was made by Konami instead. And it also doesn't run on an emulator, so we have to resort to YouTube looking at it. I really hope these games do eventually get... hello, Narancia. I hope the game eventually gets like running on emulators, because I would love to play through. This one I haven't played. I've played The Lost World and Jurassic Park, but I haven't played Jurassic Park 3, which is a shame, because like this game seems really cool. Konami, of course, you know, back like before the 2010s, were actually good at making games. So this game actually seems really neat. I don't think this intro is very interesting though, so I'm going to just jump ahead. So because the game isn't playable in an emulator, all we can really look at is like the demo stuff. Here we have the Spinosaurus, which, although not scientifically accurate, of course, none of the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park is, in terms of its posture, it is actually better than a lot of other depictions of Spinosaurus. Spinosaurus being my favorite dinosaur, of course. You might know if you've watched my Jurassic the Hunted playthrough. So this game is a little odd, because in the first two arcade games we looked at, you're in a car and you're just like racing through environments. Here you're actually on foot. You're like mercenaries that like airdrop onto Isla Sorna to save the main characters from Jurassic Park 3, which, you know, is not what happens in Jurassic Park 3, but that's how these games tend to go. But other than that, it's much the same idea. Like, it instantly just starts throwing dinosaurs at you. This one is not as high-octane, fast-paced as the two SEGA ones, but it is still pretty great. Like, I really would love to play this. Either at an arcade, if I could ever find it somewhere, or just if they could make it work on emulators. I do also like that they give us like multiple boss fights. The Lost World only really had 3 boss fights, I think. And Jurassic Park, the arcade game, only really had 1 repeated. But here you actually get, like, I think there's a boss on every level here. Oh yeah, I think they're using actual guns here. Because, like, we're not good guys, so to say. We're mercenaries in this one, I think. So, one thing I don't like about this is that the dinosaurs do not have a lot of fun colors. Jurassic Park 3 has some of the most colorful dinosaurs in the entire franchise. And for some reason that is not reflected in the game apart from the green T-Rex. Like, the Velociraptors have a lot of color on them. Even the Spinosaurus, which is brown in the film, shouldn't like be as desaturated as it was here. And I guess that's just the fact that it's a game from the early 2000s, so like the whole desaturation trend had just started. Ankylosaurus boss fight. Ankylosaurus, or Ankylosaurus if I'm gonna be American. Also first appears in Jurassic Park 3. Although it's now on Isla Nublar as of Jurassic World. And it's actually a main character, sort of, Ankylosaurus in Camp Cretaceous called Bumpy, which is a Anky who was born with an asymmetrical head. Like one of her bumps is smaller than the other, hence her name Bumpy, which is a pretty cruel way of naming like something. But when it's a pet, it becomes cute instead of cruel, I guess. But she's in a lot of that show. She's great. She goes from baby to adult Ankylosaurus in the show, and is basically an ally to the main characters. Pterodactyls. I mean, in the arcade universe, the pterodactyls appeared in the first game, but of course they were also a big part of Jurassic Park 3, the first ones were appeared in. Here's the actual start of the game. Because if I recall correctly, the cutscenes do work in emulation, and that's why we can look at these things. We can't actually play the game. So here we are, airdropping in. Okay, sorry, it was accident victims. And I guess Alan Grant sent us in. Yeah, so as you can see, there's no shooting now because the game doesn't work in emulation. So, this was obviously the last one directly based on a film, because Jurassic World didn't really have any arcade games based on it, which I think is a shame. But yeah, oh right, of course, there's camera videos of the game. That makes perfect sense. Let's actually like have a look at the gameplay. Okay, it looks pretty bad when you look at it on camera like that. Now, there was no arcade games based on Jurassic World or Fallen Kingdom, which I think is a shame. Both of them would have worked really well as rail shooters, but I guess they're just out of fashion now. But there was one more, and this one is a bit less known. In 2015, I was about to say 14, but it told me there, 2015, Jurassic Park Arcade came out. And this game is actually based on all 3 of the original films. And these seems to just be, yeah, these are all camera footage. But we have a trailer here we can look at that isn't camera footage. So this was the last arcade game made for the series, and it was just as Jurassic World was coming out, like a couple of months ahead of Jurassic World coming out. So it was sort of a tie-in in that regard. But it's only based on Jurassic Park, The Lost World, and Jurassic Park 3. So there's the Spinosaurus, There's even a recreation of the Spinosaurus and T-Rex boss fight. Oh, that's awesome. We don't have Chuck E. Cheese in Sweden, so that's the kind of thing I have no idea about. And this one has a bunch of strange sci-fi weapons. This looks great, doesn't it? But unfortunately it also doesn't run on arcades. I mean on emulators. And I don't know, like, I really wish that, like, these games could get, like, re-released. Look how colorful the dinosaurs is, by the way, I love it. I wish this game could, like, get re-released on consoles. Cause, like, why not, you know? Like, none of the arcade games have been released on consoles. And there's been 4 of them. I guess part of it is just license issues, but you'd think they would be able to do something to solve that. That was the modern logo that they used for Jurassic Park releases between 2010 and 2015. But yeah, it's pretty cool, I think. I think if we add Spinosaurus, yeah, there, Spinosaurus. That's the final boss, but I kind of want to look at the fight, so I think we'll look at the full thing here instead. Spinosaurus Chapter 1 is probably it. Oh, Dilophosaurus with venom again. Maybe it's later. Oh well, I'm not sure where it is, but yeah, like this game is really cool, and it's a shame that it was never really re-released anywhere, or the other ones for that matter. And yeah, those are the other arcade games based on Jurassic Park IP. Although Sega did sort of make one more. Sort of. Sega made one more dinosaur rail shooter, but it wasn't a Jurassic Park one. And it's called Prehistoric... Oh shit, I just forgot the name. Hunt? Is that it? No, this is a first-person shooter. This is not it. Wait, what was it called then? Shit. Primeval Hunt. So, let's see if there's like a trailer for this, maybe? Doesn't seem like it. That's a shame. But if we just look at... This one looks pretty clear. I'm gonna mute it because it's... Here we go. This was in the early 2000s. And it was the last, that I know of at least, dinosaur shooter that Sega made. And it's more of like a, I think this has more of like a hunting theme to it, which it seemed to be surprisingly popular with like dinosaur games. There's another one that's like actually a modified hunter game, like just a regular like big game hunting kind of arcade game that's been given a dinosaur makeover. That I sadly don't remember the name of it because it's something pretty like generic, like Dinosaur Hunt or Dinosaur Invasion or something like that. Um, but yeah, like these kind of games used to be popular, and they're unfortunately not that popular anymore, I think. See if maybe we can find the one I'm thinking of. It might have been Dino Invasion. Let's see if that's an actual thing. It was. Wow, I am surprised that I was able to figure that out. Is this the actual game? Yeah, so this is based on Outback Hunter, I think. This is a movie. This is the actual game. Outback Hunter is a arcade hunting game, and they got a dino version called Dino Invasion. And it is very reminiscent, honestly, of the Jurassic Park arcade games. But again, has not been released in home console form. Arcade games of this variety don't seem to be anymore. This is pretty modern, too. It's 2017. But, like, yeah, it's not available anywhere. The only reason I know of this is because I've been doing a lot of research into dinosaur games, in part because of this Jurassic June thing that I'm doing, but also because I help out at the Internet Game Database and archiving information about games, and I sort of have focused on dinosaur games there just to have like an easy choice of what I'm looking for. Which led me to like look up like every arcade game I could find with like dinosaurs in them. There are some interesting ones like Savage Quest, which is like a beat 'em up where you're a T-Rex. I don't know if that's emulatable or not. I haven't actually like looked it up. Actually, this looks like proper. No, this is camera. But yeah. It's a beat 'em up where you're a T-Rex just walking around eating people. It's brilliant. But I believe that's it. Oh, oops. There we go. It's a shorter stream today. As I mentioned, I have a medical appointment tomorrow, so that is partially why. And yeah, I do want to do one like kind of arcade style shoot. I wanted to do one rail shooter per week. The problem is I don't know if there are any more rail shooters with dinosaurs I can play. But I will look. I will look up if the Lost World works, and I will see if there are any other ones I can find. 'Cause there's gotta be more, right? There's gotta be more than just the Jurassic Park ones and Dino Strike. But there'll be another stream tomorrow night. I don't know what we'll play yet. We might actually do Carnivores again tomorrow, because I only have one level left to unlock on that, and I actually would have unlocked it now if the game hadn't crashed when I finished my hunt. So I lost all my great scores and leaderboard entries and everything, so I have to do that all over again. But if I have that unlocked tomorrow, we might do Carnivores and finish that up and make sure that we get a hunt for every single dinosaur in the game. But, you know, as always, I will mention on Twitter when I know what I'm playing, and you can also just subscribe to my channel to find it out as well. I will see you tomorrow. Oh, and one more thing. I will put a link to the Jurassic Park cover, the music that I played earlier, in the description after the stream has been archived. So, like, in a few minutes. Because I don't want to edit the description until I'm done with that.